Hey guys, this is Sellavin. I'm sorry for not doing a lot of more videos lately. So here's me doing my latest review on Digimon Universe Appli Monsters episode 33. This was a good episode because there was so much that was going on. Rei returning a new enemy. So many things. Hold on. Anyway, let's get started. Rei returning to the digital web. The deep web. Dr. Demon still has the gate open. He's still trying to look for his brother, trying to find information on it. He finally gets a lead. He goes into this high security mainframe building. While Hackmon tries to support him from the outside, he does this. He goes in, sneaking in on the inside. Real secret ancient spy stuff. Kind of like Mission Impossible. So, while he goes in, trying to look for the information, he goes downstairs trying to find in. Then he eventually tries to find a lead, and eventually gets in. He tried to hack the information, Saying so many things, he tries to get a lead on his brother, but unfortunately he doesn't find it. But he finally gets a lead on something, on something that has a connection to maybe Leviathan, Alright, he says these information looks like a whole bunch of people and something that he didn't expect, And he eventually has no choice but to leave, They're onto him, he managed to escape using Revivemon to destroy, the whole building, However, this was also a big problem, because of what he did. He's getting a lot of attention for it, To kind of I think everybody's like wondering it was definitely him, Haru and the others, because he's the kind of guy that would probably pull this off. He is a hacker, so it hits the news that some information has been leaked, from L-Corp. So we see what's going on, He eventually gets to see Haru a while, but it's not Haru, who wants to see Haru, he still thinks of himself as his friend, even though we haven't seen him much of it, and he's very hard to trust. We also get to see he doesn't trust Eugene, because this guy just became an Appli Drive out of nowhere. It's too coincident, and he has the Appli Drive duo. I mean, what is this guy, Now, there's still something about Eugene that we still don't know. We'll eventually find out, especially his connection to Offmon and how he's able to go ultimate without the time limit, And that's probably maybe how the other guys, understand his situation, Seeing this, he reveals to them the information, then he gets to see a whole bunch of guys on his faces, people, they all have the same name, Deadwood, on them. Like Deadwood? I don't know why. So I don't know why they have Deadwood on them. There's also the images of an Applimon, The way that Rei just comes in and just takes charge, They're saying, you, search engine, huh? Gachimon doesn't like it, the way he's rude. He's just here for business, He still doesn't trust them a lot, Especially when it comes to Eugene, And I'm not surprising, but we now know information, New information. Looks like Leviathan's looking for a new Applimon, which is pretty intense, you see. And when you see this, it's pretty hard. It's really, hard to understand, I mean, he wants to find his little brother. He wants to trust him, but he still wants to work solo, which is why he's been, working so tirelessly, to find his little brother. I mean, he wants to know what happened to him. After all, his brother was used as a lab experiment, and then all of a sudden, boom, something happened to him. So if he tries to find his brother, he wouldn't recognize him. But I have a feeling we will see his brother again, probably very soon, He leaves, and there's a hit on the news. One of the faces that was on the file that it's the copy from the Corp server, is that of the president of L Corp, Ushiro Tako. No, he's the president. They're doing some kind of news feed on him. Apparently, he's gonna do this interview, whatever. And Appli Mayo, the pop group that Kanan is a part of, they're gonna see this guy, They're gonna see this guy, Apparently, he's gonna be guest starring on the talk show. So and he's also their sponsor. Basically, his company created the group, So basically, that makes him Arina Kirin's boss, So he's in charge of their group, their money, and whatever. But he looks like he's a bit smug and rude, Like, they tried to be nice to him. This guy, please don't embarrass me, I'm the star, and like, if you do anything, I'll have you fired. Dokamon is like, this guy's a real jerk, all that stuff. Now we get to see his backstory a little bit. Hey, he was the son of he was the son of a family, that had an electronics store. The store closed down not too long. Eventually, was founded by a mysterious sponsor, Ushura. The sponsor helped him become a supergiant in the industry, in the computer industry, and he became L Corp. And the person who sponsored him was Leviathan. So basically, he was a pawn of Leviathan's scheme. And this guy was like way young. That means that this guy's been working for Leviathan for decades, which is pretty harsh when you think about it, Pretty hard, because that's how long Leviathan's been planning this. If you guys remember the episode about how Leviathan was created with Timon, that's way back then. You can probably look for it on my video, or on my playlist, Leviathan's history is created about the history of Minerva and how Haru's grandfather created all this, It's pretty intense and a pretty good story, we find out that Leviathan became a sponsor, he's been loyal to him all this time, he's been just a pawn. And we also get to see the Kanan group. They tried to be nice to this guy, but this guy's like treating him nothing like trash. And so Kanan, she wants to be a pop idol, so she's trying to do her best to like behave herself, even though this guy's like treating her like dirt, like just straight up saying that I'm the popular one. Then suddenly, boom, out of nowhere, there's a new CEO, and this guy is fired, which is pretty crazy, And they were just in the middle of the interview. The dude just broke out. So this guy is like literally was the boss of the corp of the L Corp, and now he's just gone. So most likely he was, just got rid of, by L Corp. That means that Leviathan no longer has a use for him, And we get to see the new president. How this guy is like. This guy's like comes in all like cool and stuff, like riding this ship through outer space, like riding through the atmosphere, like dressed up as a superhero. He makes an entrance. How everyone just likes, like how super cool he is. His name is Ushiro Knight. He was the guy we saw in the previous episode that took Sellavin chip. He's now the new CEO of L Corp, and he's out and like, oh, thank you, the future, Like, this guy is just another pawn of Leviathan, And when you see this, it's pretty intense, Well, I know I keep saying that, but when you see this guy, he's just super cool, and he's a crowd pleaser, But it's obvious that Rei, doesn't trust him, because this guy wasn't on the file. So, because there was the file on Yushiro, and there was a mysterious Appli called Boo. Well, Boo was on the file, and now this guy just comes out of nowhere, just right after the hack, which is more than coincidence, When you see it, it's definitely suspicious. Just right out of nowhere, after the big hack, this guy is just suddenly fired, and a new guy just comes. So we also find out that he's launching his plans to look for an Digimon called Bootmon. That's the Bootmon was on the file, He's some kind of yellow orange. He looks kind of like Entamon, but he's different, Different. His name is Boo. It said Boo, but the name was blurry. And how Astra and Musamon kept making dumb noises, trying to make Rei laugh. Rei wants to trust them, but he still wants to find out what's going on, trying to find his brother. You see that Hackmon wants to be friends with them too, but he has to listen to his partner, which is Rei, and he knows he can't just disobey, And we got to see some Rei again, This is a good thing, but it also lets us some problems out of the way. Now that Ushio Knight is now in control of L Corp, he's now launching their full plans. Look, he's using 4 new Ultimate Applimon called the Ultimate 4. To find Bootmon. That's the guy they're looking for. Bootmon, and they're trying to find him. It seems they have plans for him. Bootmon. They're still trying to find him. And now that they know that the Appli drivers are in their way, they're gonna try to find him by any means necessary. That means they're gonna destroy Haru and his friends. Now, and this guy is all about chaos. He may act friendly and all that stuff, but that's just a ruse. the chaos is a beauty in it or something like that. And this guy's all about looks like bringing chaos and stuff and using artificial intelligence. And these four new Applimon that's all dark and shady like Beautymon, on on Kuromon, Fakemon. Seeing these guys, like I said, these guys look like dark versions of our heroes, which is pretty scary. Seeing these guys go up against Haru and his friends, I can't wait to see. Hey, anyway, that's all I gotta say. This was a good episode because we got to see Rei again, which we have been seeing for a while. But Rei, he's just trying to find his little brother, so he can't, afford to be distracted. And Alco just made this major move, just getting rid of that guy Ushiro, and he was just a pawn. And he said, and his name said Deadwood. That means he was most likely fired because Leviathan had no use for him. So, and that was probably before the hack, which is pretty intense. He was loyal to Leviathan, and he just kicked him out. So we'll probably see this guy come back probably later, maybe as a revenge, because all the information that he's provided to Leviathan could be useful down the line. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for the subscribe. Thank you. See you guys next time. I'm out. Bye.